Yeah, man, I want to say bless up to Mama Elise Kelly for the easy skanking, and I want to bless up Cherry Natural. Congratulations to you winning that Mutabaruka award at that function on the weekend. You don't know, you deserve it. You're original mama poet for I and the whole away. Yeah, man, from Dub Tropica's days until them time there. Yeah. So I want to yield up all Dub Traffickers and all one. Yeah, man. Dignitary stylish on the stepping razor today. And of course, Roger Concrete Asphalt holding a fort for Muta. And I want to say, yeah, man, Neil will be keeping your company as well as Shamara. And we go until 6 o'clock. Say, yeah, man, just send me come. Me not lying. Just send I come. And you see, them song there, you know, we used to dance because it's stylish. It's full of style. But guess what? It's also full of consciousness. I just love when the style and the consciousness go together. Yeah, man, it's just one wholesome thing when the style and the consciousness go together. All right? So, you know, we're going to cut it through. And of course, we have a release here from the office of the Prime Minister. He was given an update on his visit with former Prime Minister Edward Seaga. Well, according to release, the current Prime Minister, he visited the Honorable Edward Seaga Hospital in Miami yesterday, where he is receiving treatment for serious illness. Mr. Seaga, who will be 89 at the end of May, is in positive spirits, considering the physical effects of his illness and treatment. According to release, the Prime Minister said he assured Mr. Seaga that Jamaica is in a good place. The economic recovery is being carefully managed. And he also passed on to him the many expressions of concerns, love, prayers, and good wishes for him from the Jamaican people and from his former constituency of West Kingston, among many of other national and personal matters about which they spoke. Mr. Seaga inquired about football. Of course, you know, he's the president of the Tivoli Gardens Football Club. Big man in football. Of course, he was also president of the PLCA, PFAJ as well. And that became a passion for him in his later life. And also Minister Grange, she updated him. They generated light moments and they smiled and had a laugh. At the end of the visit, they held hands, prayed with Mr. Seaga for his improvement. He thanked them for lifting his spirit by visiting him and expressed his deep gratitude and love for the Jamaican people whom he served all his life. Mr. Seaga is under close medical supervision by a team of doctors, including Jamaican specialists and nurses, and is surrounded by his family at this time. The family conveyed that they are touched by and thankful for the outpouring of love and support for the Jamaican people. They ask that we continue to hold up Papa Eddie in our prayers. Yeah, man, a man who has done a lot for Jamaica, especially culturally. Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, so as I say, we're cutting it through. It's not the cutting edge, but it's the stepping razor. So, as them say, step it. Yes, Jamaican people, this is the stepping razor. So we are at the 39th anniversary of that evening tide home fire, you know. It's a tragedy that not many two Jamaicans easily remember, but one which occurred during their country's darkest day. And of course, it's something that has always left an indelible mark on my consciousness when I was a little youth, them time there. And of course, older Jamaicans will recall that more than 153 elderly women were killed in the fire on May 20. So we are at that time now, and it's a thing where I'm not going to let go so easy. Seeing this happened in 1980, the year when the country was engulfed in what them call civil war, you know, them time there. So more than 800 murders at the time. Why? When you think about 800 murders then, and them say it was the country's darkest day, much less now, it's a clock all nearly 1,000 odd. You know? So, the fire, although it was never officially stated, the general view was that the evening tide fire was the work of political thugs. Right. So, according to the Jamaica National Heritage Trust website, there are in fact a number of reports of police from persons living at the home that gunmen had entered the premises more than once, claiming that they had come to kill the staff and inmates for reasons connected with their alleged political affiliations. Also, the article said that 6 months after the fire, gunmen invaded the premises and injured a couple people. But the thing is that the horrific deaths resulted in the then Prime Minister Michael Manley declaring May 26, the day of which the Eventide fire victims were buried in a mass grave at the National Heroes Park, a day of national mourning. Of course, you know that mass grave is just down the bottom of Heroes Circle beside the gas station near Heroes, near Ministry of Education. It's right in front of the gas station. Around that side, there are big monument for the 150. So it was a sad time in Jamaica, and I always remember that is in May, them time it happened, and it's a thing we left a mark on my consciousness. And sometimes the things that were happening at Jamaica, sometimes I wonder the things that were happening at the past, if it have a retribution effect on our society today, how we treat the elderly. Yeah, man, the Eventide fire was a serious thing, Rasta. May I tell you, man. Neil, you don't know about Eventide fire? You know about it? Man, young boy don't know star, man.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says former Prime Minister Edward Seaga is in positive spirits considering the physical effects of his illness and treatment. Mr. Holness visited Mr. Seaga yesterday at a hospital in Miami, Florida, where he is receiving treatment. In a press release this morning, Mr. Holness said he passed on expressions of concern, love, prayers, and good wishes to Mr. Seaga from the Jamaican people and from his former constituency, West Kingston. The Prime Minister said Mr. Seaga expressed deep gratitude and love for the Jamaican people. Mr. Seaga is under close medical supervision by a team of doctors, including Jamaican specialists and nurses, and is surrounded by his family. The former Prime Minister will be 89 at the end of May. Detectives attached to the Clarkstown Police Division are now carrying out investigations surrounding the death of a man in Clarkstown yesterday. The deceased has been identified as Nicholas Horton, also called Bada Bada of Hyde District, also in Trelawney. Reports are that residents reported hearing gunshots and summoned the police. Upon their arrival, Horton was discovered suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to the Falmouth Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 2 Portland teens who were reported missing since Monday have returned home. According to the police reports, 13-year-old Jamila Brooks and 15-year-old Tiara Harper of Ross Craig District, Portland, have been reunited with their family. They are said to be in good health. In news overseas, British Prime Minister Theresa May has promised to set a timetable for the election of her successor after the next Brexit vote in the first week of June. The agreement follows a meeting between Prime Minister and senior Tory MPs who are demanding a date for her departure from Downing Street. If she loses the vote on her Brexit plan, already rejected 3 times, sources told the BBC she would resign. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson has said he will run for leader once Mrs. May goes. The Prime Minister survived a confidence vote by Conservative MPs at the end of last year, and party rules mean she cannot formally be challenged again until December. Finally, it's being reported that high-level talks between Venezuela's government and opposition have taken place in Norway. The government and the opposition have been engaged in a bitter power struggle since January. Both reports of a meeting between the two sides in Norway's capital, Oslo, emerged on Thursday. Those reports were confirmed by a Venezuela ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva. The timing of the talks is a surprise. They come just days after 10 opposition lawmakers were stripped of their immunity and charged with treason, and shortly after opposition leader Juan Guaido said he was considering asking the U.S. to launch a military intervention to oust President Nicolas Maduro from power. Those were the local and international headlines, brought to you by Stevenson's Electronics, 56 Main Street, Ocho Rios. Everything electronic and more. Major news is next at 5:45. From the IRFM newsroom, I'm Maisha Brody.
Right, this is a Stepping Razor on IRFM. And of course, I want to give thanks to Robert and Maisha, news and sports. Yeah, so we are heading towards that time of the afternoon where the people are going to find out if them win a big money in the afternoon. Yeah, but yeah, man, earlier we were reflecting on the Eventide home, fire, and believe you me, is something that sometimes I feel that some of the bad blessings were over this country because of situations like these where the retribution are reaching hard. Yeah, for real. 153 old women burned to death just by arsonists. Is not something this country should be proud of. No wastage. And this, I think, we should really have a commemoration every year. A very sad occasion that was in Jamaica. And, you know, it was said that it happened during a very dark time in the country, although I think we're still going through some dark times based on what is happening. The killing of almost 15 children murdered by grown adults this year so far. Last week, they found a girl in Mapen High in a 4 parts in a key and piece, mutilated. The other day, the one up at Red Hills, mutilated. 14 children murdered from the start of the year. You know, it's not something we must sit down and take lightly, in my view. So we said also to extend the SOE, which is a state of emergency. I have no problem if you can draw for a state of emergency every now and again, you know, because it does help. It helps in terms of bringing down the crime rate, you know, save lives, which is very important, because one life is too much, you know. One life will just snuff out, so it's too much. See? So, yes. And them can get them extensions too. But I don't think the extensions should be forever still. I don't believe in that. See? When you have a state of emergency, that's the time you should do all that is necessary. You address your social concerns. You do your intelligence gathering. And if you want to take extension, get it, take it. But it's not fair go on forever. Don't be fooled. State of emergency is not something designed to go on forever. It is designed to bridge a gap so that it can fix the problems that is leading to these criminal activities. See? So, it's all right. Have a state of emergency now. Have your Zozo. Ensure so everything all right. People must cooperate. I agree. You know? And if you have your evidence and if you have your intelligence, do your due diligence. That's how we see it. Seeing? So people must be cooperative. I agree that people, you know, sometimes you have to just, you know, quash your rights a little just to make good sense prevail in our society. Because, you know, based off of what I say, you know, our society is on the verge of a collapse, you know. And if we don't fix it, you know. Because one of the things that we are importing a lot of negative culture in our psyche. And it's a play out every day. You know? I say I had here upon IRFM where, boy, sometimes you have to help yourself in terms of the social media thing, because it play a role in terms of how we deal with one another. If you ever see some of the comments on social media, especially when it comes to certain things like all politics, and you never believe the people that really, and then in a real life it's like say and them okay, and the terrible things that when them step on social media to them one another. It's a serious thing. So we see a hoax going around. I don't know if it's today I see it, and I was hoping it was true, but it's a hoax. So the hoax said those who were between 1990 and 2019 have the right to withdraw $280,000 from the Ministry of Labor Social Security. Check if your name is on the list to those. Check if your name is on the list. So when I see it, I say, yes, $280,000 in a day. But it's a hoax. It's a serious thing, and we can't continue like this. So the Ministry of Labor has sent out a release dated Thursday, May 16. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security wishes to advise the public that a fake message about the ministry's programs is being circulated on social media. The fake message is asking persons to check the electronic list to see if they qualify for monetary disbursement. The ministry is not disbursing $280,000 to persons who were between 1990 and 2019. While the post displays the ministry's logo and everything. The message being circulated did not originate from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and may have been developed to lure unsuspecting persons to a website that has the capability to steal personal information. So people, don't be caught by the hooks. Seeing you're not getting no $280,000. All right, listen up to the special pot draw up next. All right, so that was your 3 o'clock special pot draw. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Tune in later at 5 o'clock for another chance to win top draw, dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, and the cash pot draws. When you're black and poor, man, them treat you like cruff, man. Even your own black people, your own people, them treat you like cruff when you're poor. It's true. It's not a lie. Spotlight, a truth in your talk. So, a total of 10,626 Jamaicans have overstayed their United States non-immigrant tourism business B1, B2 visas between October 1, 2017 and September 30, 2018, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Now, it said this is a jump by 1,073 when compared to the corresponding period of the previous year, according to the agency's fiscal year 2018 entry-exit overstay report. So overstay, the same thing always say, run off. Them whole time saying that, Neil, say, man, Neil run off. Run off, Yeah, the same thing. So, it's over the period, 312,667 Jamaicans were granted entry to the U.S. and were expected to depart the country during that window of time. The department said that for that period, it has no departure records of 10,242 Jamaicans now classified as suspected in-country overstays, and 384 Jamaicans left the U.S. after their authorized period of admission expired out of country overstays. The agency said that based on the above figures, Jamaica has a total overstay rate of 3.40% and a suspected in-country overstay rate of 3.28%, and this is a slight increase when compared to the corresponding period the previous year. And for the 2017 reporting year, Jamaica had a total overstay rate of 3.16 and a suspected in-country overstay rate of 3.04%. But it's not the worst in terms of overstay, because Jamaicans love beliefs, why we are the worst. Yeah, although we have, them say, you have equal amount of Jamaicans outside of Jamaica. But we are not the worst, because recently Donald Trump, the president, him said, boy, I have to pay attention to overstay rate greater than 10%. So Jamaica, they way done. So certain new Donald Trump new policies won't affect Jamaica, especially when it comes to this green card system. But to help us, with this discussion, we have Director of the Caribbean Immigration Services, a man I know very well, from Team Jamaica Bickle himself, but he's also Director of the Caribbean Immigration Services, Mr. Irwin Clear. Good afternoon, Irwin.
Good afternoon, Roger, and your listeners.
Is he there? Let's see.
Yes, Roger, can you hear me?
Let's sort out that. All right, look like we'll lose him, All right, no bangarang there. We're just gonna get him back. So, yeah, so the president of the USA, Donald Trump, he has asked the Secretary of State in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security to provide recommendations to address the issue. So, when Donald Trump start look on this thing, say is something that we need to take note of. All right, let's see if we get back Irwin. Irwin?
Yes, Roger, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, but...
yes, Roger, can you hear me loud and clear? I'm hearing you, sir.
All right.
Hello?
Yes. Hold on, Irwin.
Hello?
Irwin, I hear you somewhere, but you're not coming over one if I come through. But I hear you somewhere. The technical capability of Dr. Neil is sorting things out. But I hear you somewhere.
I'm not in Ocho Rios, that's for sure.
All right, hold on, Erwin. Don't move. So, let's hope is it this. Erwin.
Yes, Roger.
Right there. Good to have you, man.
Same here, and good day to you and your listeners.
Great. So, I'm sorry you heard my preamble.
Yes, sir.
What's your initial impressions on this information?
Well, let us understand and put something in perspective that although we may not meet the threshold of the 10% or the 10 basis points that the president is using as his barometer as it relates to overstays, that whatever policies he will come out with regarding persons who are in the United States who have overstayed their visa will impact all. Because at some point, the way immigration, I won't say now that the hostility, toxicity that exists in all immigration for it these days covers all immigrants, you know what I mean? And that's the unfortunate situation. And Roger, the other thing too, we must also note that from the Caribbean region, the Dominican Republic have upwards of 14,000 persons. You know, Jamaica follows suit with over 10, and Haiti with 7,000. And one of the things about persons who we say overstay their time, you'll find that many Jamaicans who find themselves in positions like that go on to adjust their status. And in that number too, you'll have persons who have legitimate reasons to be in the United States and choose to adjust their status while in the United States. So that number in itself is not just to say that persons who have run off are now still 10,000 persons out there living in the country in an unlawful position or in an illegal capacity. They may have gone on and legalized themselves.
Yeah, man. So what are the processes that these Jamaicans use now to adjust them status?
Well, it's limited. You know, if a person, and we can categorize it, children who are under 21 years old are able to adjust their status because they're a child if their parents are citizens. If it's a child who's over 21 petitioning for their parent, that parent can adjust their status. If you fall in love and get married to a United States citizen, then your spouse can petition for you. And that, incidentally, and I know this might spark some interest in Jamaica, this goes for both sexes, because same-sex marriages do benefit from this situation as well.
So you find Jamaicans with that same-sex thing benefiting?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
Is there anything that happens globally that's not impact that Jamaicans aren't involved in? Yes, there are.
Okay. Yeah,
and they have the legal protections to do it as well.
I see. So, is the rate alarming as it might sound or it might look?
I don't think so. I think that if you recall, just first part of last year, the embassy in Jamaica also gave kudos to Jamaicans as living within the constraints of their visas as one of the countries that did not necessarily show high on the Richter scale as it relates to that. So again, data can be used to manipulate and to highlight you wish to project a situation. I don't think Jamaicans stand out more than any other entities. But yes, there's still a higher amount of persons who enter the United States and overstay their time due to whatever the circumstances are. But like I said, they do not sit around in those categories for long, especially, the fact that they would have entered legally, it accords them an opportunity to use one of the avenues I just mentioned to adjust their status.
So what is the number one in terms of the avenues in terms of adjusting their status?
Well, I think, looking at the marketplace we're in right now would definitely have to be matrimony. And that's why it has put a lot of pressure on those persons who are going through that process as it relates to how in-depth the interview processes are. And so we say to persons that, and if you notice, I underwrote my statement when I said that you fall in love and get married, because that's usually the process. And even when every relationship, by the way, is questioned by the immigration authorities involved in immigration, because it's the avenue that is most traveled. And so persons have to have their T's crossed and their I's dotted, because they will, you should be prepared to be interrogated. And so, that's the way of life for many, and many people are successful in this endeavor. And it is a process that is not just used by Jamaicans alone either.
Yeah, so we see here where the Trump administration plans to overhaul the entire green card system. You want to explain that for us? Elaborate on that. All
right. It goes back to when President Trump was a candidate. He came out with what is called his 10-point plank on immigration. And I want you to understand, and we have to frame it in a way so we understand where his mindset is. And let us also throw in some ironies here. The same yardstick he's now using to determine who comes into the United States, his in-laws would be disqualified. They just became citizens last year. So it's interesting that how the mindset of my president is. But his argument is about curtailing, reducing legal migration, legal immigration. Because in his 10-point plan back then, he wanted to revert back to the 1965 methodologies of how persons enter the United States. And we're going back to this whole merit system. It's called cherry picking, which means Jamaica and Caribbean nations, especially nations in our region who are unable to provide opportunities to their young people with high skills and education, will now see an opportunity for young people to seek entry into the United States based on a merit basis. Right now, it is true, most of the immigration into the United States is skewed towards family reunification. 57% to 12% for merit base. They're going to be flipping that around. The same amount of visas will be issued, the same amount of green cards will be available, but they'll flip that around. In other words, over 50% will go towards merit base, and a smaller amount will go towards family reunification, which incidentally is the backbone on which the United States was built. Because when you think of it, that the United States is made up of immigrants from all walks of life. And so the idea here, according to the Trump administration, is to change from family reunification. In other words, curtail things that are called like chain migration, which, for example, I petition for you and you have 10 children and aunts and brothers and sisters coming in. Those kind of situations they wish to curtail, to move it towards what is called a nuclear family, which would be spouse and children thereof under 21. So you could find that many categories could be eliminated. That's the proposal. But I'll tell you though that this proposal, Roger, has not, many people say it's dead on arrival. It's more given to the base that's something that Trump is doing something as relates to immigration. But I don't think on both sides of the aisle there's an appetite for it. So,
and why would there not be an appetite for it?
Because if we take, for example, on the Republican side, they do want to see a more hardline approach as it relates to the whole situation as to who can enter the United States, what happens to those already in the United States, 11 million persons or so undocumented, and also to even within the Republican Party, what do we do with DACA, which is a main starting point for the Democrats. There are some 800,000 young persons who are protected by deferred action, which is an executive order that Barack Obama had passed, and it withstood some challenges from the courts. And they'd also want to see a pathway to legalization for those persons who are already in the country. So there are different aspects of this whole immigration conundrum that parties and conservatives and liberals bring to the table, and so it would call for horse trading, and so what he has done here really has not really moved the dial much. except for the whole situation of those who are seeking asylum in the United States.
But what do you think about the Jamaican rate, though, particularly?
The Jamaican rate, I'm not surprised by that, and neither am I a lot perturbed by that. There are people in Jamaica who will always be seeking avenues out of Jamaica to better themselves. I don't think Jamaicans who, as you use the term, run off, come here just because of the holidays and to have fun.
Definitely not.
There's not a lot of fun here. You come here to work.
Yes.
And in fact, I will tell you that many Jamaicans have come here and have been disciplined to doing certain things that they would never do in Jamaica.
Exactly.
I mean, as far as the type of work and as far as, abiding by certain rules and regulations.
Things they would never dare to do here, they do it there.
There you go. But at the same token, we should not be light about that, because these are also the persons who form the basis for that $2.9 or $2.5 billion that comes home to Jamaica on a yearly basis.
Exactly.
Remittance. So let's not lose about that.
And that is very important to, sustenance of our family life here in Jamaica.
It is. But you see, with this overall shift to a merit system, we could find some of our brightest minds taking the flight more so, and that is a danger on both sides, because the grass is never always green on the other side. And that is not to say that some will not be beneficial, but you'll find that there could be challenges for those who believe that it's a bed of roses, and it's not. But Jamaica, though, countries like Jamaica and the Caribbean who have challenges in engaging their youth and engaging their educated, will have to really step up the plate, because they could see a brain drain of sorts.
Yeah. Okay. So, any additional you want to leave with us regarding this topic, Erwin?
Just to say this, that for folks in Jamaica and have relatives abroad, encourage them to make sure that they're pursuing their immigration situation. But not all that importantly, if you have interest to migrate to the United States and you have a relative in the United States, a family member who qualifies to petition for you, although now it may seem it'll take a long time, have them put in a petition, because we anticipate that some deal will be cut. And you could find the sibling petition being eliminated. You could find that children over 21 petitions or stuff like that being eliminated. But what will happen is that applications already in the system are usually grandfathered. So if you have relatives in the United States who are in a position to petition for you, and you're outside of the immediate categories, meaning that you're not a child under 21, you're not a spouse, you're not a parent of a child over 21 who's a citizen, but you might be a brother or sister, or you might be a child married, but you have a parent who's a citizen. Put in those applications if you have interest to migrate, because if they should lock the door on that, then that's it. But if you're already in, the opportunity for you to get a benefit would still be alive. And that is based on historical situations we've seen in the past, when you have had immigration laws that may have retroactive situations or aspects to it.
Yeah, man, appreciate it, Erwin. Thank you very much as usual. Sure. Yeah, man, your respect. Yeah, man.
Sure.
All right. Director of Caribbean Immigration Services, Erwin Clare, speaking about the matter of overstays, Jamaican overstays in the United States. Wow, we're running behind? All right. Yeah, man, the man, Al Campbell, man, turn me loose, man. Original conscious tune, This is a Stepping Razor on IRE FM. Of course, we and DJ Commercial at you today. And of course, Shamara and Neil alongside I and I keeping your company. So we see here, according to IRFM News, weaknesses in the distribution network of Nutrition Products Limited has forced the Education Ministry to find alternative measures. So we see here where the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dr. Grace McLean, she said that there have been instances when the products are stolen. You can imagine that? Stolen en route to the schools. People can't say heartless, man. Yeah? Like serious thing. All right, let us hear Dr. Grace McLean.
For one, the Nutrition Products Limited delivers 2 days per week. We found that the products that were being delivered, sometimes when they get to where the schools, they are stale. Sometimes they do not get to the schools any at all because they are hijacked on their way to the schools. And so a decision was taken, yes, meaning that other persons actually take them before they get to the children, sir.
But illegally or within?
Illegally. So the ministry did a review of the actual arrangements and decided that a better approach would be to provide the funds to the school so that they can actually purchase from local farmers and they can also prepare their own meals.
You see why our society stay the way it is? Because things like this, where, you know, the health and the nutritional needs of the next generation, the now generation, the scavengers of this generation are at it, stealing before the stuff reach the school, en route to the school. So, why? Jamaica. Man, I tell you, Jamaica. All right, we have some features coming up, you know. So, let us continue with this. We want to talk about homeschooling shortly too, you know, because you don't know there's a little issue going around with a recording artist Jador and some family issues where apparently kids being trimmed allegedly by police and the family saying it's not the police, it's them and all over. So we want to explore the topic of homeschooling, but we're going to do it shortly. Seeing because that is one of the things that is being debated on, homeschooling. How is homeschooling an real alternative to bringing up your kids? Because people having issues with it. So we're going to explore that shortly from now. So stay tuned. This is the Stepping Razor on IRE FM. The Stepping Razor here on IRE FM. So the songs, them, did I tell you from a long time, you know, it might sound like a style back in the days, you know, but you see when you listen to the lyrics, them, I need to tell you the reality and the cultural situations that we face daily is a serious thing. So I usually see them songs, they are style, but when you listen to them, trust me, the consciousness will prevail outside of them. See? So, of course, you don't know, say, the reggae girls, you know, them have a send-off game on Sunday at the National Stadium. Shamar said, no. Yes, them have a send-off game. I do want to talk to somebody from the JFF still because you don't know. I think we should really rally around the reggae girls. They have done something great in terms of qualifying for the World Cup. I'm really, really, really happy. You know, that, you know, they followed in the footsteps of the men from 1998. You know, a great achievement. And, you know, we big up people like Sidela Mali, who was entrusted to ensure that the girls got the necessary support. And they really got it. And, of course, you know, things never so rosy still, but they still managed to pull. They say that Jamaican spirit, that Talawa spirit in of us, is a very real thing. Trust me. And we're proud of them, we're happy for them, and we are urge the Jamaicans to go out and to really support them on Sunday against Panama in them send-off game. See? So, the other song out, it named Strike Hard, produced by the Marley family. That's our mantra. Yeah, man, what's the battle brewing? Ganja growers tackle government over hemp cultivation. We're going to talk about that, but we'll go to the lines first because it's first come, first serve. Greetings.
Hello?
Yeah, man, you're live, you're on.
Yes, sir, John.
What go on?
May I say, the government, you see, Rasta and those people who use marijuana, we shouldn't be begging the government to do anything for us now. We need to get rid of them. It's simple because they're going to keep on frustrate me and keep up one bag of things, draw them, put on all them kind of something there. Because it's tomorrow morning, there's a by-election or somebody drop out, and there's a by-election. It's the fastest them get money. to do all and to implement and to organize everything. So why is it now that because of marijuana, if a poor people or for Rasta or whatever they want, put it away, whatever, this need a speedy attention.
And when you say speedy attention, hello. When you say speedy attention to what? What needs speedy attention?
No man, in terms of regulate and pay the lower man, the man way down at the bottom can't keep doing business or whatever. You understand?
Oh, so you mean so hold on. So you say the crumbs that the small man getting right now, he's supposed to get a good slice of the cake. That's what I said.
Yes, man, good slice of the cake.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that time I black out now because I hear them say is a Canadian investor get part of the get one of the license already. And where the poor man not this.
Yeah, I kind of find it strange still.
Government will collect one bag of tax or whatever, and we still don't have to now get nothing.
Yeah, so they said 30 licenses granted so far and not one small man in it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a madness. And Peter Tosh get 27 stitches in her head out of police button for marijuana. That's how far the struggles are come from even before that. And it's still mandatory sentence, mandatory 3-year sentence for a spliff. Exactly. And the virgin dead down something there for split where there, just 2 years ago. Yeah, man. Down Barnett Street. And them come trim Rasta pitney again. I tell us if I did my pitney, them they trust me. Them policeman, they are dead enough. Alright, you didn't hear the homeschooling? Yes, me hear the homeschooling part. People need to start adapt that because the curriculum is foolishness. Well, right to some people. Education system is a shamble. The new curriculum that them have now, nobody is evaluating it to see how good it is. The 5E lesson plan with them have, nobody evaluate that to see how good it is. Alright. Right? Yeah. People are telling for a long time, so they must get rid of GSAT and them get rid of common entrance, and common entrance was so good. You know, them. You sure about that? You sure about that? Why? Me not sure about that. Say common entrance. Normally, it's common entrance was elitism. Same thing like everything. It's just the same thing with that over and over. Common entrance. You see what happened now? It helps you as a student to think critically, build your mental ability and all of them something. No, so a lot of bright people never pass. Come on, a lot of bright people them never come in a newspaper. Yeah, but guess what? Even those children, they are better than some of GS are thinking now. Why? So it just did demotivate them to some extent. Because even when me pass my common entrance and move on to high school, you know, students who are below, who never get to go to the common entrance, because they perform better than even some of the common entrance in them. So it's a give and take, but the GSAT is just straight recall and swatting and all them something there. Well, so, I hear you. See? Reason behind it. All right, I hear you. All right, look here. Yeah. The HBO documentary where you play, how me can get here? Well, I don't know. You might have to link me, or I don't know. Yeah, man, I'd love to get a copy. I really definitely need to get a copy. Yeah, man. So where you call from? Where you call from? I call from St. James. Oh, all right, sir. Yeah, I come up, so I come the 26th of the place to them earning Africans. Yeah, okay. Me not want to do it's all right, yeah, man. Yeah, all right, little more. Yeah, man. Serious thing. Yeah. Stepping Razor here on IRA FM. So the Ganja Growers Producers Association, the GGPAJ, says it's strongly opposed to the government's embrace of hemp cultivation here and has made a number of demands designed to protect the local cannabis industry from what the group sees as a threat. So the GGPAJ position is outlined in a letter to Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA CEO Lincoln Allen, as a battle appears to be brewing between the association and its stakeholders groupings on one hand and some big corporate interests on the other hand regarding the large-scale cultivation of hemp in Jamaica. Boy, with the kind of system something like this, it's going to happen, you know, but we never want to talk because that's all say, you know. So the battle appears to be brewing, as we say, between the association and its stakeholders, grouping on one hand and some big corporate interests on the other hand. So in a letter
to Allen, the GGPJ said, while it was totally unaware and uninformed of the CLA's position on the matter, it wants to clearly and explicitly express its strong opposition to the government's apparent support for the growing of hemp in Jamaica being indicated through the provision of government-owned lands and other recent supportive comments. GGPJ added the understanding, rightly or wrongly, before any new crop is introduced, and certainly on a large-scale basis as being contemplated, there should be an environmental impact assessment study. They also wish to evaluate the study that would obviously have been carried out and evaluated by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture and Fisheries, and more likely also by the Cannabis Licensing Authority. So the Ganja Growers Producers Association, which comprises home growers who are entitled to grow 5 plants in their own for their own therapeutic purposes, unlicensed traditional farmers who are in the process of transitioning to the legal industry, Rastafarians who have rights to grow sacramental herbs, and licensed ganja cultivators, as well as all other applicants to the CLA, outline what it described as its interim position on the cultivation of hemp in Jamaica. The government and the CLA, the group said, must first and foremost promote and protect the interests of the cultivators and cultivation of ganja, by extension the regulated and traditional ganja farmers. The association is also asking that indisputable scientific evidence be provided about the non-threat or threat of the local ganja industry. In addition, the Ganja Growers Producers Association wants land slated to be made available for the growing of hemp to be also made available to people wishing to cultivate ganja, and I agree, and that this distribution can be done in a fair, equitable and transparent manner, with the GGPAJ being constituted about that process. You know, recently I heard the Prime Minister say, Jamaica is on the course to becoming a very rich country. But sometimes I ask the question, rich to who? Unless things are done equitable, where every jackman who have ambition can get a part of this cake. Ganja is Jamaica's gold. Ganja is Jamaica's oil. And every man is entitled to this piece of cake. If you go to Dubai, if you go to the Middle East, the oil, everybody I live good off of oil. I feel so everybody can live good off of Jamaican ganja, if we really intend to become a very rich country. So also the association is asking that a full cost-benefit analysis be done for the cultivation of ganja and hemp. The group said its position is based on feedback it received from island-wide consultations over the past 2 months, culminating with the All-Island Growers consultation held at Gulfview in Mandeville on May 1, as well as a national strategic review consultation held on February 26 at the Ligani Club in New Kingston. The group said it has received numerous anti-hemp comments on its WhatsApp platforms, the Ganja Forum, the GGPGA's Rasta Rights. In addition, its position is informed by notes prepared by the chairman of the GGPGA's Scientific Committee and former CEO of the Scientific Research Council, Arthur Watson. The association said that it has not been included in any consultation on the matter of hemp cultivation in Jamaica. Jamaican government, watch it, watch it. Remember, you had laws that discriminated. If a man have a spliff, him go mandatory jail for 3 years. Watch it. Justice. Remember saying you can't have a prosperous society if you don't have justice. All right, listen up. Top draw, dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, cashpot, drive time draws up next. Rising sensation, Coffee Man. Yes. Well, as a Kingstonian, I is feeling the water hose. Trust me, whenever I go up daytime or whenever I go up, I I can't feel comfortable. Some serious water was happening in Kingston and St. John's as to speak. Sometimes for weeks, no water in the pipe. And it's almost a crisis. Yeah, man, we see people on the brink. So we're going to talk with the president of the National Water Commission, Mr. Mark Barnett, and he's going to give us some clarity as to this water position in the corporate era. I want to say a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
And welcome.
Thanks.
When we're going to get a little reprieve, sir, when the rains come?
That is the best thing now, based on where we are. We are expecting that we'll get rain in latter part of this month into June. Other than that, we will continue to distribute in a regulated way the water that we currently have in storage and are able to get from the different sources. Yeah, so that's basically the situation now as it is.
Yeah, my household experience is that it's very far and between, and sometimes it come like say 3 o'clock in the morning for 10 minutes, maybe all after 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and then that's it again. It's that bad?
It is bad in a number of areas and bad for a number of reasons. I'm not sure where your particular area is, but in generally across the corporate area, when you do a regulation and depends on, and again, a regulation will only work if I don't have any other issue on the network. So every time I put a regulation in place and if I have a number of breakages on the line as a result of other activities that may be happening, it is going to disrupt the regulation. And I could just simply give you an example. If I have a break on, say, Constant Spring Road, which captures the larger distribution area in the corporate area, it have a serious deleterious effect on my regulation. And each time a break occurs, it will take me probably between 4 to 6 hours to get that fixed. I have to drain the pipe, I have to excavate at a level, I have to ensure that the work as is going down, in some instances 8 feet below ground level, is well secured, and all the rest of safety issues are in place. Because one crisis, you don't want it to create another crisis. So, these are some of the things that we face, and some are, in most instances, those are not planned. And that is part of the challenge. When you have those unplanned occurrences, it seriously disrupt everything that we actually said.
Yeah, but right now we're seeing the planned and unplanned culminating as one now, because remember the infrastructural works was one of the first excuse, and then there was a after almost things was getting back to normal, there was another problem again, and then now compound now with the no rain. Right. Everything was happening at one now, so we're between a rock and a hard place.
That is the situation as it is now. But we have been constantly trying to improve how we distribute the limited supply, and I know the team has been out there in some of the communities, even up to 12 o'clock last night, just to make sure that areas are getting the service when we put the regulation in. So we gradually improve, so to speak, the service that is provided to those customers that are on a regulation. Currently, we are now in another community in the western side of St. Andrew, and the report is very positive, where we are able to now move some of the water from elsewhere in a more organized way to get to some of those communities that would have been suffering for a long time.
Jamaica is not short of water, because if you come on the North Coast right now, North Coast don't have a water problem. In fact, you have a whole heap of, water just a spring. In terms of how Jamaica has grown, why have we not yet learn how to channel these water that is just running out into the sea and the North Coast into the catchment area of the largest populace in the country? Or, I mean, is the technology that difficult? I mean, how you explain that?
It's not a case of don't get to it. We are fully aware of what are the things that need to be done. One of the challenges for us is the availability of the resource to get it done. So we're not short of the technology or the competence to put in place those plans. For example, if we had the funds as we had hoped, say 10 years ago we had a plan to move water from the Rayakobo into Kingston. If those monies were available, it would have been done 10 years ago. We wouldn't have been where we are now. But the funds weren't available, and that's a reality that we face as a country, and as an NWC, that's the reality that exists. Now, had it been different, we would have seen things, in a different way, and the complaints would have been far away different. But we have to understand, water is very important, but it also depends on a lot of the economic realities that one faces at the time that would detract from being able to expend the millions of US dollars that would be required to do that.
Yes.
For me, it's not an excuse, it's a necessity, and it's something that needs to be done. And I also want to emphasize as well, when you look at water that is produced in Kingston on a regular basis, under normal circumstances, we are producing more than what the demand is.
Yes.
Because we're losing a large portion of it. And it therefore means if we reduce what we're losing through the program that we're doing, we can actually prolong what we have in storage.
But Rayakobo is not so far from the corporate area, so I mean,
we're doing it now, it's moving.
Yeah?
It's going to be done.
Okay.
It's going to be done. Again, the approach that we're taking is on a public-private partnership, and it's not as we would have say a NWC go out and procure a contractor to put it in, which is where NWC would provide the funds up front. In this case that we are pursuing is where the private sector put in money.
Because sir, you move water from far up place. Yalas come so I mean, it not add up to me. Although I say we're getting there.
That wasn't completed is just a result of not having the money at the time. 10 years ago the money was not there.
Okay. All right. One other complaint, sir, is that me had that complaint a month time too. No water, but the bills are coming higher and higher. How you explain that?
Coming higher, man.
Mr. President, I'm not joking, man.
You are going to be getting a bill. So
is that estimated bill?
Estimated all along. You will get an estimated bill.
Mr. President, may I tell him, and the complaints is the same, I don't know which reality you're living in, but people are complaining, say, boy, I know what the bill high, same way. All right, well, may I exaggerate to Mr. Higher, but it come high.
Okay, but you can text me your details and I can particularly look into that situation. It ought not to be a case where you are on a metered service and there's little or no water coming in, depends on where you are. You're billed at a higher rate. You normally be billed at what the meter reading is and the additional service charge.
I speak on behalf of thousands of people, sir. I speak on behalf of thousands of people.
You need to tell me exactly where so I can look into it, because you're speaking on behalf of thousands.
Yes.
That is thousands with similar situations.
Yes. All right, so Mr. President, so what hope you can, tell the people now?
What I'm saying is some pockets that have been complained, we have improved those situations, and we are seeing now improvement in some of the areas that were complaining, especially in the Penwood, Waterhouse, Olympic Garden Bay Farm, where we are currently in there, and the report that I've gotten a couple of hours ago is that there's water flowing in the pipe, albeit at low pressure. So we're working to make sure that there's improvement in those areas, and I've hastened to say those are the areas that would have been seriously affected from as far back as December.
While low pressure would be like heaven, or push power with
man. Yes. Not sure where you are. You don't tell me anything, but you can tell me off here when you finish.
All right. Let us say off the Manningsville area, Manningsville Road area, up that
right.
side.
Manningsville Road, yes.
Sufferation up this man.
That's another area that we have some work to do.
Yeah, man. Sufferation, man. But anyway, so we have to just pray for rain. At the bottom
we need rain, and we need when we are in good times, we need to conserve.
Yeah, what's the dam now? What's the situation with the dams, the Mona Reservoir and the Hermitage Dam?
So Mona is at 27%, go down a few points, fraction of a percentage on a daily basis. Hermitage was at 33% yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it's not pretty, but yeah. Well, so what you advise consumers to do? Or continues to do now?
Well, what we're advising is once you get water, try to conserve it as much as possible. I often tell, for those who would have storage and who would not know when water goes or come, their usage habit doesn't change because it's as if they're on normal supply. I'm just advising that you conserve as much as possible. You know, just check your habits rather than keep the shower running when you're lathering your rag, rather than keep the faucet running when you're brushing your teeth. You just need to adjust those habits to shut those taps off because those are high usage. And rather than use, and I still, in some instances, observe people washing car with hose. Those need to stop because we don't have the water to do that. You also want to use your kitchen sink when you rinse your dishes to use to water your plants. The plants can use that water, and that's, as a matter of fact, it's far way better for the plants than the chlorinated water that you normally use. So there are certain things that can be done by residents when they do get water and when their storage is replenished when we do the regulation, so as to ensure that, number one, you don't need to be replenishing with large volumes, and it will help to extend the service to others who would have been affected and not getting the service as a result of, those on-site storage tanks.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
And we certainly wish that this improves shortly. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, man. President of the National Water Commission, Mark Barnett. Yes, the tide today, so we're gonna take some quick
Greetings.
Yes, man, welcome.
Again, the waterman saying that the Albana stream running up there why they never try to do something about it. People go there and drink it,
Where? Upper Constant Spring? Right? Upper Constant Spring?
Give the name Constant Spring.
Yes, it's true.
The water is there running so from we born until now, until something else.
Yeah, sometimes well, I don't know, because them say come down to money, so but they get the name Constant Spring, and there's a Constant Spring still there.
Of course, clean water. You don't have to
and in a channel into anywhere.
Because let me give him by the place water was running through there, and then build up a wall, block out the water. And it just break it down. He must build back the wall and left the water for, because the water is coming from under the earth.
Yeah, natural course.
So when I was trying to, let me could have come out that because that is good water. They want to the millions of people they catching pump. And that is free water. So me not like a talk.
Maybe never talk too loud too, because I got real water, government stay already,
Alright, it's where that water channel go? Over the golf club.
Oh, yes.
But it can't everybody go to the wash, whatever.
Yeah. But the honest truth is that I never know, so I never channel gone away.
No, just over the golf club. And right now, I pass it just a while ago and I look on all the water pretty and clean. People stop catch water, put in and they glue gone. And then all over Jamaica water channel and in north.
But that's a good
call him attention to.
There are places too, where you can find where water. Come, some mean oasis in the thing, But I don't oasis the in the middle of the thing, right? No, real oasis, Where I tell you, so yeah. All right.
Yeah, more call him attention to it.
Yeah, man, certainly. You're find out about them things. All right, thank you. Yes, man. Stepping Razor on IRE FM. We in the home stretch. Yeah, the home stretch. So time fly. Yeah. People, we are at the end of Stepping Razor today. I want to give thanks. Thanks to Shamara and of course DJ Neil and of course I, Roger Concrete Asphalt, who kept your company throughout the course of the afternoon in the absence of Mutabaruka, who I sat in for today. So we'll back again, We'll back again one day in the journey. So until then, all the best. We'll back again. See? Bless up yourself, everyone, and keep it locked to Roots Rocking Reggae Radio, IRE FM, as we stand by for news.